there was a really fortuitous mix-up. When I got back to the office after the award ceremony, I opened up the envelope to see the nice proclamation for Justice Southbury, and it said, "You've done a great job. Congratulations on being the wonderful community leader that you are, Jessica Ocasio." And Jessica looked down and said, "Justice Southbury? I really wanted the Jessica Ocasio Award." So I got in touch with Matt, and he invited me to stop by their Pride Empowerment Center, Pride Cultural Center in Waterbury, downtown Waterbury. And so I went there and we exchanged our certificates to make sure they ended up in the right place. But it was really interesting. I worked for several years in Waterbury, and the neighborhoods are, as you know, very different from the neighborhoods we have in Southbury. Some are exactly the same, and some are very, very different. And the neighborhood where your center is one where many people would drive through scared, would say, "I'm from Southbury, let me lock my doors first." I understand that. It always makes me realize and remember that the kids like mine that grew up around here, there's this assumption you're all going to do great. And there isn't the same support system throughout in downtown Waterbury sometimes, and yet the support system at the Pride Cultural Center that Jessica and Matt run is extraordinary. And I was glad that we didn't just sort of meet outside on the sidewalk and hand each other certificates. They were gracious enough to ask me to come in and walk around and look around, and I got the tour. And it was families and faith and strength, and it was kids of different ages working together, engaged with each other, involved in ways that you say that these kids are really getting, just as our little ones over here are getting now, a real opportunity to not only be kids, but to hear the kinds of messages that we spread here, and to hear the messages of faith and family and strength that Jessica just talked about. So it really is wonderful. And afterwards, I'm going to, if you'll indulge me a sec, I just want to read you this brief email exchange I had with Matt, because he said a lot about what they do there. I said, "Jessica and Matt, I was very moved by my tour of your center yesterday. We both received awards for community service, but yours is way more important than mine. Thanks for doing what you're doing." And Matt graciously wrote back and said, "Good morning, Rick. Thank you for taking the time to visit the center and for your kind words. The work we all do for the community truly matters. I saw firsthand the strong connection you have with even just a few of the families you serve during our award ceremony. Don't underestimate the impact you make." It's great to know Jessica and Matt. I know Jessica a little bit before because she serves on the board in the Community Foundation's Kathy. But thank you, Jessica and Matt, for all you do.
Woo!